Hello again, everyone. Edwin Learnard back once again. In this YouTube astrological segment, I'm going to be dissertating and talking about the meaning of the second house in a natal chart. Now, the second house in astrology, it governs monetary things, resources, income generated, possessions, tangible assets, values, material items, self-esteem, and self-worth. And the sign on the cusp of the house may indicate the profession, the way one generates money, and it could show the manner of which this is done, and it could indicate maybe some attitudes toward, I guess we could say, material items. And somebody with Taurus on the cusp of the second, for example, would obviously maybe very put strong value in their resources, be very methodical in their approach to their possessions. And anyway, this is something where the planets in the second house. Now, well, first let me talk about sign on the cusp of the second. Now, the sign on the cusp of the second can show the manner in which one may generate their income. And if somebody was to say have Gemini on the cusp of the second, perhaps money could be made through writing, through speaking, through some kind of communications field such as data communications. And just in general, something with communications. It could indicate somebody that may make money in manifold ways and have versatility in this area, and especially if Gemini was rising. Now, let's say also another thing to look at are planets in one's second house. Now, if somebody has one or more planets in their second house, this could flavor that house. It could show a certain activity in that house. Somebody that has a plethora of planets in the second can show a lot of action, a lot of activity connected with resources, possessions, income generated, and might really emphasize things connected with value and self-esteem. Now, another thing, let's say if somebody were to have, I'll give you an example of a planet in the second. If somebody, let's say they were to have Mercury in the second house, this could indicate that this would be similar, it's like having Gemini, similar to Gemini in the second, because the Mercury governs communication and speaking. This could indicate somebody that may make money through some kind of communication field such as writing, and it could indicate somebody that has, we could say that the Mercury maybe money might be made through some kind of intellectual ability, perhaps through some kind of mental activity, something connected with the mind and being able to use it very strongly and in a proficient manner. Now, somebody with Saturn in the second, for example, might be very methodical in their approach with money. This is somebody that may have some kind of possible financial restrictions or some kind of limitations, but can work very laboriously and diligently at whatever it is they're doing as far as generating income. So, and someone that might be very disciplined as far as their issues connected with money and their possessions or tangible assets may go. Now, another thing to look at with the second house is, let's say, also, I want to talk about also the ruler of the second, in other words, the planet that rules the second house, and see what house that is in. So let's say that somebody was to have Gemini on the cusp of the second, and Mercury would be the planetary ruler of that house, and let's say that ruling planet is in the sixth house. Well, the sixth house governs health and hygiene, diet, and this could be something where maybe this person may put a lot of value into those things. It could show that self-esteem is strongly connected with having a healthy diet regime, healthy maybe a workout routine, things that they're doing to stay healthy can play a role in their values. The person might generate money through something associated with the corresponds with the sixth house, such as being a doctor, nutritionist, somebody in hygiene. That could even be dentistry. So sixth house governs small animals as well, so even working as a veterinarian, that could be another possibility. And also, if somebody has, let's say they have transits to their second house, and say they have Jupiter transiting their second house, well, this person may come into some luck, perhaps pertaining to something monetary, or it could be fortuitous for income generated. It could also indicate something where Jupiter can enlarge things. Jupiter is known as like that benign planet, the great benefic, but sometimes Jupiter, what it'll do is, it's not just about a planet that's always very advantageous. It can enlarge things, and it could indicate that this person may put more emphasis on financial matters during that time of the transit. Now, Saturn, say if Saturn was transiting the second, this could show somebody that might go through perhaps some restrictions or limitations of financial matters during that time, or somebody that just maybe, a lot of times Saturn, what it does is it discards what's frivolous or insignificant, and it focuses on the important. And during that time, if somebody were to have, say, Saturn transiting their second house, the person might discard what is frivolous, as far as maybe things connected with their possessions, their income generated, and focus on the things that are more have stronger value to them in that particular sector of his or her life. Now, and last but not least, if somebody has, say, progressions in their natal chart, and they have, say, a number of planets in that second house, and say they didn't have any planets in the natal second house, but then 20-30 years down the road they're looking at their progressed chart and there's like 2 or more planets in it, that could indicate a little bit more activity in connection with things of a monetary or financial nature, and possessions, tangible assets during that period. So anyway, people, that'll conclude this YouTube astrological segment for the second house in astrology, and stay tuned next time, where I'll be talking about having Aries on the cusp of the second house. 2 things I want to get with you on before I head out. Firstly, the stars may impel but do not compel. And secondly, never isolate any single astrological element, aspect, planetary placement, position, configuration, influence, or what have you, and make an analysis of a person, astrologically speaking, based on this alone, because a person astrologically is the sum of all their components in their natal chart, and not just one. Until next time, people, stay well.